Hi, I'm Chris. Thanks for spending some time with me. So this is another in the series of side dishes. And depending on where you're at and how you use it, the issue is it dressing or is it stuffing? Now in my mind, stuffing is cooked in the turkey, which is the way my father did it. Traditionally, he stuffed that turkey and it would come out in this kind of gooey, ooey mix. I loved it, and I love when he makes it because it was my favorite. But as I've gotten older, like my husband prefers it to be dressing style. He wants it baked in the oven, the whole top of it all crunchy, the bread getting crunchy, so it's soft on the inside and crunchy on the top. So that's how he prefers it. So that's what I've been doing. And in this particular case, we always had apples or raisins as part of it, and I still do put apples in it. I'm not a big raisin fan, so I don't use that as much anymore. And I also use my own breadcrumbs, just because bread cubes, because it's so easy to do. When you have leftover bread, you throw in the freezer and then you got ready for when the bread season. So yeah, so this is my take on dressing. So today we're making dressing, not stuffing, because I'm not putting it in anything. It's actually just going to be cooked in a pan. So these are breadcrumbs, or bread cubes that I did, and let me show you how I did that. So as the year goes on, and when I make my bread, there's usually a small amount of leftovers before the next one gets used up, and I usually put that in the freezer, especially for Thanksgiving, so that I can make fresh stuffing. So what I'm going to do, this has been in the freezer, it's sat out all night in the oven. I'm going to toast these up in the oven for about an hour at 300 degrees. And I've drizzled a little olive oil over the top. So I have carrots. That would be celery. That green stuff is celery. I have celery, apple. I think I used Honeycrisp apples and onions, which I'm going to saute in butter until they're soft. And I've also got some homemade chicken, actually I think this is veggie stock, that's warming up. And what'll happen is I'm going to saute the veggies up in the fruit. I'll end up adding it to my bread mixture, and then adding the stock to it in order to get it to the consistency that I want done. Then I'll put it in a baking dish. I'm not looking for this mixture to brown, just to really soften up and kind of meld the flavors together. I also ended up adding some roasted garlic into the mix. I have a little jar that I keep, and so I added that to it as well. You'll notice that I have put this into 2 different containers because I realized this bowl is just not big enough to try and mix all that in. So I'll actually mix all of it in kind of slowly together to make this work. So here's the finished product that we have. Now the great thing at this point, you have 2 options. The first is you can just cover it with saran wrap, put it in the refrigerator, and then save it till the next day to actually bake up. Just take it out about an hour before you want to cook it, so your pan comes to room temperature. It'll cook easier that way. If it's being cooked the same day, it's going to be at about a 350 degree oven for maybe about 45 minutes or so until the top is crunchy and the sides are crunchy. That's how my family likes their dressing. If you are doing this with multiple items in your oven, which is what normally happens in my house, is that it's probably 350 for closer to an hour and 5 minutes in order to have all the dishes done at the same time. So yeah, this is fairly easy, especially if you're looking to do some cooking the day before.